Hong Kong is set to thrive as the natural financial capital of the BRICS global empire. And that's just one of 7 ways the famously hardworking community will move back into growth mode, according to speakers at the recent Leading in a Time of Transition forum.
The expansion of the BRICS countries, which will now be 11 countries with about 37% of world output measured at international prices compared to just 30% of the G7, means an additional role for Hong Kong as a financier in non-dollar settlements, perhaps in much more internationalized yuan, perhaps in new BRICS basket currencies and so forth. I think there will be a lot of innovation coming. This is the commitment of the BRICS that by this coming year there are some non-dollar payments mechanisms, and I think Hong Kong should be a leader in innovation in this area as well, and it will be a very fruitful area of fintech.
Second, people are often surprised to learn which city has the largest number of top-rated universities on the planet, said Professor Freddy Boey, president of City University of Hong Kong.
Do you know how many top 100 universities there are in Boston? 3. How about London? 4. Los Angeles, maybe I will add Greater Los Angeles, including Irvine. 4. You want to know which city has 5 top 100 universities in the world? Hong Kong. So now you know why I come to Hong Kong. Singapore only has 2.
Third, there's long been a tendency to judge Hong Kong by the politics of the past, but Hong Kongers are focused on today and tomorrow.
I think that as a society, we could move forward. You don't drive a car looking at the rearview mirror all the time. You want to look at the front. I'm very optimistic that in the game of talent attraction, Hong Kong will do well. It has a lot of inherent advantages in the mid to long term, and I think we'll get over the hump, and then we will really power on. And that's the reason why I'm very optimistic about Hong Kong during this transition. Thank you.
I think we have actually wasted a lot of time, Hong Kong, over the last 25 years, embroiled in a lot of internal arguments on politics. And I think now it's the time for us to turn a new page and focus on our economic development, especially during this time of fast changes, how to get our acts together to make up for the lost time. And I think our leaders, our government leaders during this administration have very clear roadmap of how to develop our infrastructure like the North Metropolis, how to make the best use of the integration with the Greater Bay Area, really offers a lot of opportunities for us to get upstream on the value chain rather than in the prior years where we focus more on the low end of the value chain. So all the innovation and technology sector, and I agree with Professor Boey that I'm very confident about our ability to attract talents.
Hong Kong is very privileged. You have 5 world-class universities. Why would a Hong Kong young person not stay in Hong Kong, right?
Fourth, Hong Kong's world-class skills, such as cutting-edge banking and finance, are exactly what our neighbours in Asia are wanting.
We bought a bank in Indonesia and turned that into a digital bank. That digital bank just opened for business a few days ago. Now, for a small company in Hong Kong, thinking about doing that is quite amazing, in my opinion. But what I'm saying is that we have to think about that, because if we are not going out there, if we are not broadening up, if we are not exporting Hong Kong talent and expertise outside, we have nowhere to go. We've got nowhere to go. So I think a major trend for Hong Kong, besides emphasizing our financial market, is going out and be cooperating with other people, partnering up with good partners, and make Hong Kong influence felt And in the process, we are also learning more about the other economies.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Professor Chan just mentioned one so-called little startup. Look what's happened today. Southeast Asia, 600 million people. And little Hong Kong with 8 million can positively influence and impact over 600 million. That's the power of startup companies.
Fifth, the Belt and Road Initiative is the biggest trade project in world history, with 3,000 separate infrastructure elements. They all need design, finance, and implementation. And Hong Kong is the natural place for the BRI projects to find all that.
I am a great fan of the Belt and Road Initiative. I think it's one of the most important initiatives in the world and an extremely positive one. And what it aims to do, of course, is to create infrastructure connectivity throughout the greatest landmass of the world, Eurasia, but also throughout the Indian Ocean region to East Africa and indeed throughout Africa and also Latin America. It's a very big and bold initiative. Of course, Hong Kong should play a huge role in helping to design, finance, implement the hundreds of billions of dollars of infrastructure programs that will be part of the next decade of the Belt and Road Initiative. So the third summit of BRI, which was just completed a couple of weeks ago, reaffirmed China's commitment to BRI, indeed to an expansion of BRI. One of the main themes was that BRI should be building truly 21st century sustainable infrastructure. So that means green and digital, it means fast rail, it means long distance zero carbon power transmission. China specializes in high voltage direct current transmission over long distances. It means 5G, which will soon be 6G. But the point is, there's a tremendous amount of investment ahead. And Hong Kong is the world's center for connecting regions through investment. So I was very happy to hear also what Professor Chan said. Do reach out to ASEAN, use the Belt and Road Initiative for these investments. The Greater Bay Area is one of the core innovative hubs of the entire world now. Hong Kong is a gateway to the world. I'm sure that everyone in policy throughout China understands the unique contribution that Hong Kong does play and will play in all of this. So I'm very encouraged and do think that BRI is a central feature for success and in which Hong Kong has a major leadership role.
Sixth, Hong Kong is a mature, sophisticated, world-class financial centre and has beaten New York and London in IPO launches regularly over the past 2 decades. We will be exporting these specialities and our fintech too.
I think Hong Kong has done very well. I don't agree with many people who think Hong Kong is slow in fintech. I think Hong Kong itself is a very mature, sophisticated, well-regulated financial market to begin with. And so we are building financial technology on such strong base. And that's very different from when you're doing fintech in other emerging markets where you might have a rapid development or rapid adoption. I think Hong Kong has done very well because the fintech approach in Hong Kong has been trying to make it easy for customers to get financial services and make it easy for make it less costly to provide such services for the banks. And I think overall, I think he has done very well. I regard Hong Kong as one of the key centers of fintech around the world. Now, but Hong Kong actually is also quite innovative. When you hear about the new policy coming out from the government, we're experimenting with virtual assets. We're experimenting with a green finance tech. There are a lot of things that the government is really planning, and I'm well supportive of. I think on the basis of very good regulation, Hong Kong can do more. And then the ultimate goal of fintech is to bring technology to finance to benefit the economy and consumers. I think we are doing that. We are just fine. Now, why is Hong Kong enjoying a good position for doing that? Of course, I mentioned the regulation. I mentioned the culture here. Of course, we also have very good technology. We have good tech people both here and the Greater Bay Area, and a lot of us using Greater Bay Area as our technology base. So I think it is very possible, very likely for us to export this know-how outside of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is too small a market for fintech. I always emphasize. But when you look around, there are a lot of other countries who love to work with Hong Kong on innovation and technology, and this is where our future should lie.
Thank you very much, Professor Chan, for reminding us the importance of seeking out, right, and forming partnerships.
Seventh, this part of the world is where economic growth is, and that will draw people here for sure.
I think given some hiccups, the center of gravity for things really happening moved from Europe to US, and so the talent followed. It's coming back to the East. And I think our young people need to know that the excitement is right here now. I mean, 15 years ago when I'm in Silicon Valley, I have several startup companies there. Nobody talks about this part of the world. You draw a 1 kilometer radius and all the VCs are only interested in that kind of places. A few years ago, just before the pandemic, I'm starting to hear that there's some interest in coming over to this side of the world. So if I was a young person, I would say that look a couple of years ahead when you are in your 40s and 50s. Where would you like to be? And I would not be surprised you land back in this part of the world.
The panel was led and moderated by philanthropist and businessman Patrick Tsang On-yip.